Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday, November 24th. I am tired. I am exhausted. My eyes are bleeding after this weekend of watching
screen time.
The game. And that's why I'm sitting down, because it's not worth standing up right now. I'm sitting down. I'm comfortable. Because that's what it feels like. LSU is just trying to comfortably just going into the season and try to end it. They won a hard-fought game this weekend against Western Kentucky, 13-10. Only gave up 3 points offensively. Gave up a nice little fumble recovery for a touchdown when they're running. Western Kentucky had no timeouts left. The game was over.
You talk about right when people were standing up, they were standing up to leave, and then everybody went, hold on.
Let me sit back down.
Let me keep the people in the stands. Holland Berry, doing it for the people.
Yeah, so LSU wins 13-10. They go into the last game of the season on the road against Oklahoma, who's ranked 8th in the country, who has arguably the best defense in the country. LSU may not cross the 50-yard line next week. Hopefully next year is a lot different. But next week, they may not cross the 50-yard line. Game, honestly, boys, the way the defense has been playing, maybe 6-3, maybe 9-6 again, just like the LSU Alabama game. Who knows? But they got one more game left of the season before the season is over with, and you can move on to next year with hopefully Lane Kiffin as the head coach. That is obviously another topic of conversation that will not go away because Lane Kiffin hasn't said anything. He hasn't made his decision. He hasn't said one way or another where he's going to go. There's been a bunch of rumors from LSU side, a bunch of rumors from Florida side, a bunch of rumors at Ole Miss's side. They're not going to make a decision until after the Egg Bowl, based off of what
the Egg Bowl,
based off of what Ole Miss came out and said. Now, everybody, including me, thought, man, there's no way this thing's not going to get leaked before then. It has not. Nothing has been decided. Nothing has been said, which makes me feel like maybe Lane doesn't know yet. Right? Maybe Lane hasn't made his decision, which makes me a little nervous. But the Egg Bowl, I believe, is Friday.
Oh, yeah.
At noon.
Black Friday.
11.
You can get Lane Kiffin for 20% off.
There you go. Well, I wish. I wish we could get him. I wish we could get 20% off. We ain't getting them at any discount.
It's a Black Friday deal.
Upcharged.
You just have to go to the state to go get them. You got to go to the store to pick them up.
So this whole saga is going to come to an end hopefully this weekend, with hopefully it ending in LSU's favor. If not, you would have to imagine LSU has their plan B and C in place. As in place as it can be, right? They haven't obviously said, hey, man, here's your offer, but you can't sign it until this guy says yes or no. Like, that obviously hasn't happened, but I believe that there's been some conversations about what that would look like if they end up making it a decision of saying, hey, Lane didn't come here. Okay, now we got to pivot. We'll see. We are going to talk, obviously, LSU football through this week, what we expect to see, because this is our only show of the week. It's Thanksgiving week. Obviously, everybody's traveling, hanging out with their friends and their families. So we're not going to have a show the rest of the week, but we're going to give you a good show today. We're going to talk about the coaching carousel, talk about some of the other coaching openings, what's going to happen, kind of where it sits right now. Interesting situation if Ole Miss ends up losing to Mississippi State, which the Egg Bowl is wild. Egg Bowl is honestly one of the most fun games to watch at the end of the season. All this stuff surrounding Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss does not probably gives Mississippi State a lot of confidence in them going in there and trying to upset and ruin their season. The question is, if Ole Miss loses the game, do they still make the playoffs? I went through the rankings as of now. Obviously, the college football playoff rankings come out tomorrow, so you don't know what the official rankings are going to be until you see them. But, there is a really good chance that if they end up losing this game, they do not end up in the playoffs. We'll talk about that throughout the course of the show. Talk about the abysmal performance of LSU this past weekend, what to expect next weekend. Talk a little bit about MVP of the team, Kenzel Kelly. Talk about how cool that was.
My boy.
Seems like he's a really fun guy. I'd love to hang out with that guy, I think.
Yeah, I think you talk about...
You know me well enough. You think we'd hang out?
No.
You think we'd be in a good friends?
Nobody went to his birthday party.
Yeah, doesn't seem like that.
I don't even know what position he plays.
Bench.
Yeah. How do you spell that?
Tackle and guard. It says end of the bench. guards the water, tackles anybody that comes next to it, right? That was the joke in high school. Where do you play? I didn't tackle and guard. Yeah, that's basically what he does. But we're gonna talk.
The fact that you're mad about him because he's fat is the funniest.
I mean, I just
take
can't.
advantage of what's in front of you.
Listen to me. You have no right, other than the fact that your dad's the coach, to be on the team.
Was the coach?
Right? Was the coach. If I had the opportunity to be part of that, like, wouldn't you like? I'm gonna take advantage of this. Like, I'm not gonna Rudy this thing and try to get on the field. That's probably not gonna happen. But like, hey, like, let's have some like respect of myself. Let me like look good. Let me like work out hard, and let me just be like a good person on this team.
Opposite.
Obviously, that did not happen. If you watch the video, personality, but body didn't put any work in the strength and conditioning program. And I guess with nepotism, like, how can you expect someone to work hard, right?
Right. He's never had to work a day in his life.
Yeah. So we'll talk about all that. We're obviously joined by producer Lloyd.
Thank you, sir.
Baseball better in Baton Rouge.
That's right.
Love the shirt. Okay.
God.
You got a little jiggle in that tricep. No muscle to it. Just embarrassing. Embarrassing. And then right after that, the fumble return for a touchdown happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's a curse. They're cursed.
That was it. Joined by Lloyd, obviously, we're going to bring all of our personality today. Also joined by our two-time national champion, once in football, once in baseball. First-round draft pick for the Chicago White Sox. Media pundit for SEC Network, our co-host, Jared Mitchell. Jay Mitch, welcome back.
Y'all don't seem to be very fond of little Kelly.
Kenzel.
Yeah. That's a tough clip. I don't think he's gonna be very proud of that clip 10 years from now.
I don't think
just gonna out there.
Listen to me. He's a meme.
Maybe he is gonna be proud of it. Never mind. Maybe he is.
Megan making money was all on that.
Yeah.
After they had their little banter on Twitter, like that was, I mean, she's probably having a good time.
She had banter with him. They went back and forth.
Oh yeah, like a couple weeks ago.
Don't let me leak the DMs.
He goes, don't let me leak the DM. She goes, I'll do it for you. Here you go. Literally nothing.
I'm trying to get your dad on the show.
Yeah, literally nothing.
Once again, it's about your dad.
Yeah, right.
Not you, Kenzel.
But let's talk through this thing real quick. I mean, we don't really want to recap the game. We're basically beating a dead horse.
I stayed all 4 quarters.
What the season? Did you?
No, yeah.
Good for you. Based off what the season has been, obviously we don't want to beat a dead horse. Offense. This is the worst the offense has looked all year, right? Look, Nussmeier had his senior day. Obviously, it's a shame it didn't work out the way it should have worked out for him. Everybody had a lot of hopes with Van Buren to go in there and kind of right the ship and maybe give it a little different look. And I want to say this because a lot of people are kind of coming at him like, oh, see, it's not all that good. It's, he's not that much better. That's the reason why he didn't play. Okay, all these things I understand. But at the end of the day, you can't just have this extreme change of offense with 3 games to go in the season. The offense is what the offense is, and whoever's playing quarterback at this time in the season is the offense that you're going to have to deal with, right? You can tweak the game plan as much as you want to try to fit the strengths of the quarterback, but at the end of the day, the offense is the offense. Unless you have a guy behind him that is Jaden Daniels, who's going to be able to create everything on his own, the offense wasn't going to get significantly better. You were hoping that it looked a little sharper, and it's looked a little bit of the same. They've obviously tried to run the ball a lot more. It just hasn't really worked out. At this point, you're trying to battle your way through the end of the season, and hopefully have a respectable last game. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about the actual on-field play. Would y'all agree to that?
I mean, yeah. Like when I think about it, listen. At the end of the day, I do think when you bring an interim head coach in, you're trying to clean up some of the operations. Obviously, like you fire the coach in the middle of the season, you now have an interim who takes the job. So you're trying to clean up some of the operation, but that head coach's job is to just try to stack some wins, right? And that doesn't necessarily usually mean we're the cleanest. We just find ways to win. You get scrappy, you find ways to win. The second part of that is they didn't just fire the head coach. They fired the offensive coordinator as well. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say they came in and tried to install some brand new offense with all new verbiage and stuff like that. But you're using a different mindset, a different way of calling plays, a different synergy of how you're putting this stuff together. I think it'd be crazy to think you were going to see some, not even prolific, but just like such an uptick on offense. Like, I thought it was wild watching the game when as a fan, they fired the head coach. They fired the offensive coordinator. The starting quarterback isn't playing, and somehow yet our fan base decided it was a good day to boo.
Yeah.
What are we booing?
Right.
What did you think you were going to get?
Yeah, right. Like,
find a way to win. I don't care who you're playing against or whatever it is. Just find a way to win, and that's what they did. So you're not only establishing, you're maybe reestablishing, you're continuing to foster along a mindset of just, hey, we're going to get stuff done right now. And I think that's what they did a good job doing. I was just mind blown to see fans literally booing in a situation like that, as if it was supposed to be some Heisman type performance or something that was just crazy great. I wasn't expecting that at all. I just want to see them have more points than the other team when the 60 minutes is done. And if you can do that right now, we find our way to next year, and then you start doing things right and crispy and on point the way it's supposed to be. But right now, it's damage control, and that's it.
And I'm glad you said that. Crispy. Move on to next year. Because the coaching search is obviously still underway. If it's not Lane Kiffin, and we're going to get to all the Lane Kiffin stuff, like, there's nothing new that's come out. The only thing new that has come out has been the Chancellor of Ole Miss had an interview today and talked a lot about how good the assistant coaches are for Ole Miss, right? Talked a lot about how, now it's a clip, right? So I didn't listen to the whole interview. But he talked about a lot about how good they are and how they keep the team together and they motivate the guys and they recruit and all these types of things, and that they're in a good spot no matter what happens with Lane, right? And so if it's not Lane Kiffin for us, do we believe that they have contingencies in place? Lloyd?
My contingency has changed over the last 48 hours. If it's not Lane Kiffin, why are we not looking at Blake Baker? He checks all of the boxes that you want checked, right? You continue to keep what you would imagine your staff is on the defensive side intact. You keep Corey Raymond. You keep Kevin Peoples. You probably keep Kyle Williams. You keep Austin Thomas, I would imagine. All the things that LSU fans want. Pie in the sky is somebody come in here. Don't change too much, but we need to change something.
So let me push
and you
back.
give it up, like,
correct. I think he's a great coach. I want him to stay there.
because you lose him if you don't.
But let me push back a little bit. Do you want everything to be the same minus a little bit, or do you want things to be different but you keep some things the same?
I want everything that I just said. You want Corey Raymond. You want Austin Thomas, right? You want Frank Wilson,
So you have
right?
3 pieces you keep in place.
Corey Raymond.
4 pieces with Blake Baker.
Yeah, Kevin Peoples, Blake Baker, Austin Thomas, Frank
The
Wilson.
defensive staff, and then Frank.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't think anybody else coming in would do that?
I just don't know how easy of a transition or how much of a sell this job is if you go, hey, don't touch anything, just come on over. Like, you don't get to bring your people. Like, that's not really how it's ever gone in the history of
But you also don't know what kind of relationship Lane and or anybody else coming in may have with some of those guys, or actually may think of some of those guys. Those conversations are had, I would imagine, right? Like, we're sitting here as if they literally have no familiarity and we don't think at all. Like, the Brian Kelly situation, once we found out that's who was the head coach, was way different because we had a very good idea that, hey, wait, everybody that's kind of been in this place and in this league, I don't know. I don't remember them running through or against or anywhere in what he's been and where he's been. So who's he bringing down? Like, that made sense then. In this situation, if it is Lane, there's a way we could say, oh, okay, I can see him keeping a lot of these guys because there's so many people in the league and around the league. If they haven't coached together, they've coached against each other. There's a lot of familiarity around there. So I don't really think it's that situation. And my last point to that, too, if I give you a little bit of pushback, Lloyd, my last point to that would be this. in an era where, let's just tell the truth, the money of this thing is king, right? Like the money matters a ton. If you're not funded, there's a very, 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 very strong chance you're not very good. I'm not saying anything about Blake Baker in terms of how he is and his ability to coach. I think it's great. I would ask you this, though, in this situation. In a time where it's super important, if you're going to give the job to someone that doesn't have head coaching experience, in this kind of a situation, if you were the money man, how inclined are you to throw all of your money at the beginning of this thing? Right. Or are you more inclined to say, let me give this a year or two. Let me see what kind of dude he is when he gets this job, and then I'll see how much I'm willing to give and throw into this situation at that point.
Right. And the other side of it, right, is
I'm just waiting because I want to know what Lloyd would think. Like, what would you, if you were the money guy? What would you think about that situation? Like, if that money was coming out of your pocket right now, how would you go about that? And don't give me just the I believe in Blake. I want you to give me, no, these are like 7 figures that may come out of my pocket. How much do you believe in them?
Right, and I think the conversation is different because it is a first-time head coach, and it is somebody that wants the job and understands the opportunity given to him, where if I do this thing right and I do it the correct way, like it can be a 3 to 5 year deal, and then I get re-upped, where I don't need all of the money that you're trying. It's not the same Lane Kiffin deal.
No. You're missing what I'm saying. I'm not talking about salary, brother.
I'm talking about NIL stuff, like the fund.
That's what I was going to get to. Like, I don't care about
what you need for the squad.
Yeah, like
because look, we've already had this conversation, bro. Like, you take the job at LSU, you're not making less than 8. So there's already a shit ton of money that's thrown into it. So we're sitting here talking about the salary is what it is at this point at LSU. And I think the money, the donors, the people, the big money givers, they already understand that part of it. Now it's, okay, well, we already had to give this. How much more am I willing to throw into this in terms of a roster as well?
What, you don't think that they would make this hire with the intent in mind of that Blake Baker can do this job, and I'll support him as well?
No, for sure, but here's what I think would have to happen. You hire Lane Kiffin.
It's Lane or bust, right? So I get that.
Right, but you hire Lane Kiffin, like the sales pitch is built into Lane. Like, you see what Lane is. If you hire Blake Baker, he's going to have to go and he's going to have to be a salesman. He's going to have to go there and he's going to have to lay it out for all these guys.
I think he can do that.
No doubt. He's going to say, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it.
Can and will are 2 completely different conversations.
I think he can do it.
I think he wants to.
But here's my, and I like Blake Baker a lot. Like, he's a great dude. Off the field, on the field, I like him a lot. But my question is, if you are going to go and hire Blake Baker, right, because you want to have some continuity, wouldn't John Sumrall be more of a likely candidate to bring him over? Right. And he has head coaching experience, successful, and you get to keep everybody in place on the defensive staff, right? Like,
well, I mean, look, dude, to exactly what you're saying is the John Sumrall and or Blake Baker. But bro, Blake could be the greatest coach ever in this situation and on his way up. And I think what you're saying is if I'm the money guy and you're trying to get me on board with this, I'm not making the decision off of I think he wants to or I think he can. If there's somebody else who is and who has and is on their way up too, that's probably a better candidate at this point. That's all I'm saying. And it's no shot to who he is. It's just how it goes at this spot.
Blake's gonna get a job somewhere at some point, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, when that happens, I don't know. I like Blake Baker. I want Blake Baker to stay here. And I think that he's probably he's gonna be on the list, but I don't think that they're going to offer. I think there's some other candidates in that tier that may be a step above him based off of experience.
Right.
But I don't know where they go. I don't. I don't know. I know nobody wants Drinkwitz, which I don't understand the hate towards him. I understand that you may not like the personality or like the nerdiness. Can't argue with the sex. Everybody says, "Oh, he hasn't beat anybody good." I'd push back a little bit on that, but he hasn't beaten some of the top teams in the country. He hasn't beat a lot of these top 10 teams, but at the end of the day, he's coming from Ole Miss. He's coming from Missouri. So
Ole Missouri.
He's coming from Missouri. So at the end of the day, he's doing a lot with less And he's in a lot of these games. It's not that he hadn't won them, but he's in a lot of them. If you don't like Drinkwitz, I mean, I think the other one that everybody is asking for is Dillingham. I don't know if Dillingham's going to leave. I don't. But he's also 35. He's also young. I know he's been a head coach there for a little bit, but that's like his spot. That's his place that he's been wanting to be there for his entire life.
He's been there his entire life.
Right, and that's a little different, right? It's just he's familiar with it. He's comfortable with it. He understands the landscape there. He doesn't understand landscape out here. Not saying he can't and he wouldn't be good. I think he would be good. It's just, who else do we go? People don't they put their nose up to Summerall, but I kind of like the guy.
He's got some shit to him. Same thing with Dillingham. They both got, that's what people are looking for, and that's why I think Blake Baker is also on that list of, you've gone so far in the opposite direction of what it was versus what you're looking for. It was, okay, you got hoodwinked, bamboozled, absolutely throttled by Brian Kelly. It was the right decision on paper, right? Everything that he had was the thing that you wanted. It was, hey, come in here and get a guy that can, look, you've had some goofballs as head coaches that have won. What if you get somebody that's absolutely established? Well, he didn't give a fuck about the job. And so now you're looking for somebody that's give me what I know it takes to win in Louisiana and win at LSU, and it's a fit. And that fit is caring. I know Blake Baker cares because I've seen it. I know that Kenny Dillingham cares about Arizona State because I've seen it over there, and when he talks, people listen. Summerall, same thing at Tulane. So you have a handful of candidates that are okay, now we've established what you're looking for in this job and who can actually do it, because it doesn't take a whole lot. You don't have, Les Miles, I don't think he lit the ACT on fire. So it's not like you have to be this world beater.
Right.
It's just you have to actually have the ability to care about the program and care about the job. And that's what I think, if it's not going to be Lane Kiffin, I know that's what everybody wants. At some point, you do have to pivot if it's not him. But if it's not, when does LSU finally do the thing and go, let's get a guy that can be here for 10 years? And that would be, to me, that would be Blake Baker to me. You can go young up-and-comer and look at the defense he's fostered and what they've done on the football field. He saved your season this year.
Yeah, well,
it made it
respectable.
You would be where?
I don't even want to.
You had 13-10 against Western Kentucky.
Yeah,
if you don't give, and you gave up 3 points, not 7.
Correct.
So I mean,
I think
you want to be able to keep him on staff, because if you take Summerall, he's going to Tulane.
I don't disagree with you at all in terms of Blake being able to do the job, but I think when you were asking who's up next, I just don't see the decision makers thinking that he's right at the next spot. Is he maybe on the list?
Yeah.
I'd be hard pressed to believe he's not, if that's how we're going to punch line and who we're going to try to find and who we're trying to get to. Yeah, I think he's on the list, and I think he would do a great job. I just don't know that a lot of people see him as quote unquote ready for that job.
Right. I just think at some point you have to play the lesser of two evils, because if you go and get somebody else that's not Eli Drinkwitz, what would stop Missouri from hiring Blake Baker away? What would stop Tulane from hiring Blake Baker away?
Correct.
So if you don't want to lose him, at some point you elevate him, because he will be a head coach. Who's to say it can't be at LSU?
Right. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you, but at the same time,
yeah, you're not going to look back and go.
You're not going to promote somebody just because you don't want to lose them. Yeah, you want to keep them, right? But
then you look at Tulane and you go, look, if they won 10 wins, you're like, he was at LSU.
Right.
But he did it at Tulane,
correct.
So now
But those schools are a little bit more willing to and likely to hire somebody like that and take a chance on those guys as opposed to LSU. Right? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, right? It's the same conversation with my guy at North Texas, right? I'm not saying, but it's the same thing, right? I don't think he's a real candidate, even though I think that he's a really good coach. They won again by a lot this weekend. 56 points, a lot more than 13. I think he's going to end up at Arkansas, honestly, which is going to suck. But look, there's some other guys I believe that you can put in, can kind of all categorize in that list. I don't know what Plan B is. I haven't heard what Plan B is, what a realistic Plan B is. But it's got to get somebody. It's got to be somebody that I don't like. The fans, yes, the fans are going to be happy or not happy with They're going to have their opinions. But the new guy has got to be able to come in there, and he's going to be able to have to take control of the team. He's going to have to command respect of the guys in there, and he's going to have to create a different culture within the locker room. Because the thing that Brian Kelly didn't get fired because, oh, my God, he's losing games. Yeah, that's a byproduct of it. He got fired because he wasn't present. He did not command the team. He did not have a trust between the players and himself. The players did not want to play for him. And so all of those things led to losses, yeah. But you saw the fabric of inside of the locker room kind of start to deteriorate and not be the team that everybody thought they needed them to be, and that's why I ultimately got fired. Obviously some other things too. But same reason with Les. Why would you want to fire Les? Look at all these wins that he had. Well, at the end of his career, you start to see like what made LSU so good early on there start to deteriorate. Man, if we don't make a decision and we don't move him out, we have a chance that we're going to be in a bad spot for a long time. O, same thing, right? O just fell into a gold mine, but it's all about who can keep the team together, right? You're going to have some tough seasons. You're not going to have Nick, especially nowadays. You're not going to have the Nick Saban era where you're going to get there. Now, obviously, Kirby Smart's doing it right now, but that's a hard thing to do, especially in the SEC. So, in my opinion, you got to bring somebody, obviously, who's going to be able to do that. And to Jared's point, be able to instill that same confidence in the boosters and the people who are going to supply the extra NIL money above the revenue sharing. I don't know who that guy is. I hope somebody does. And look, yeah. I hope Lane's the guy. But if it's not, we got to figure something out.
And here is Lane talking about being asked about other jobs for the third time in the same press conference where it finally kind of gets his goat, it feels.
I think just because of the ambiguity, I was just curious, when Key says expects a decision on Saturday, is that a decision that's been made, or is that still in consideration? Like, people are just curious about that.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can just keep going. I'm not going to answer them, so that's 3 of them. You got another one?
No, I got one about William Michael, actually, your highest graded defendant. I also asked another one about Trinidad, too. It's not just about that, but I'm curious about William Michael's.
He's just over it.
Great pivot by that guy.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't answer, so I do have something about William Eccles.
Hey, did you see the look on Lane's face? That like the extreme disgust that was in his face is like, I know you just watched me give a nice Euro step to the first 2 that was asked. And here you are trying to reword the same damn question.
God damn it.
I'll say this about Lane. Through this whole thing, he stayed as consistent as he can. He hasn't said one thing that can be misconstrued one way or the other. I'm coaching here. This is where I'm at. I'm expecting to be here every day until a decision's made.
Does that not tell you what I said? Look,
you can't. Okay,
I've been covering this a couple of days now, right? Like I do it in the morning, I do it in the evening. Does it not feel like that? It's pretty apparent what this thing is, right? Like if you're Ole Miss, do you think he's staying?
No.
No, I think that conversation that happened today. What was it? The chancellor?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I can't recall a time where upward brass would come down and give so much like glowing review of the actual coaching staff that doesn't have to do with the coach. It's usually such and such a staff basically saying that I'm giving the credit to the head guy, right? And saying that they did well. No, it was like, no, this staff, that's who the players are really locked into. Basically saying like, we know it's not going to be here. I'm not exactly sure. There may be some question in my mind as to which one actually did win, but it's not going to be here. I think that's pretty. I would be shocked if it would be Ole Miss at this point.
Right, and here is the chancellor, just for the people that haven't seen it, because this has become an absolute. They'll talk to anybody.
Assistant coaching staff, they're absolutely amazing, and they do a tremendous job all up and down the line. And Coach Kiffin has done a great job putting together that coaching staff. And that coaching staff is really where the players stay focused. That coaching staff is the ones that keep them grounded, it keeps them led, and it makes sure that they're ready and prepared to play the game. And so I'm excited about the fact that this coaching staff has done this kind of job this year with this team. We have
look, He's not wrong about coaching staff, being around the guys, keeping them up. But that's not something you say unless you feel like you're prompted to say it.
Yeah, because we've been talking about Charlie Weiss Jr. all year.
Exactly. Like, that's understood, and, like, that's not false, but there's no reason to bring that up unless there's a reason to bring that up.
This is what you're shifting your perspective to, like, you're setting yourself up for whenever the time comes. This is what you can expect. And look, it was never always Lane. It was the staff around him that he built. But
and look,
and then what happens when he takes them with him?
And here's
it also sounds like too, like it's one of those. Hey, I don't think he's going to be here. I don't know what's going to happen in the Egg Bowl, and I don't know what's going to happen after the Egg Bowl. But what I'm trying to tell you, underline, is if he ain't here and he ain't coaching after the Egg Bowl, win, lose, or draw the Egg Bowl, these guys will still be ready to play because it's been these coaches that they're locked into. Not the one where they stand in his office and go on the nationally televised Pat McAfee show and do this whole interview. They're not locked into him. They locked into the other coaches.
Correct. If I'm Pete Golding, I'm taking that clip and saying, hey, look what you said. It wasn't Lane, right? Look what you did.
Who's their offensive coordinator? Charlie Weiss?
Charlie Weiss Jr.
As I'm sitting there watching Lane call plays on Saturdays, if I'm Charlie Weiss, I'm taking that to Ole Miss. I'm saying, hey, what you said? What?
You just said it.
Yeah, Charlie, give me your first 15. Well, it ain't really like that. That's not how it works around here.
So after this last week, what's the meter on Kiffin for y'all?
I have.
So you think 0% chance he goes back to Ole Miss?
Yeah, I think it's. I don't like to speak in. I think he's coming to LSU, like 95.8, 99.9%. The only thing that because at some point you have to stop playing the game of, oh, what does this mean? What does that mean? What is this? I mean, you hear the chancellor talking about it like he's coming back. You have Trinidad Chambliss put out a PSA to the fans. Like, doesn't sound like your head coach is coming back.
Yeah, but
like they're doing straight up damage control.
Trinidad Chambliss does not know.
No, but the fact that he has to do this doesn't sound like it's a yes.
Yeah, but
like my coach is coming back.
I mean, I think in his mind, he probably. I mean,
no, he
doesn't going at this year anyway. But
but I'm just saying, like the fact that somebody told him to do this, he didn't just do this on his own volition. Look how it's written. Like, this is a PR move to be able to, like, hey, everybody stay locked in for the Egg Bowl.
Hey, Lloyd, what you trying to say? That man can't perform in that
Why would he put this out? Lloyd! Like, that's Chat GPT, if not anything. But, like, you don't have to do all that.
There's no dashes.
Yeah. Do the athlete, Lloyd. Jesus.
I saw Patrick Peterson's paper. He didn't have a period till the end.
Well, that's Trinidad Chambliss. That ain't Patrick.
Oh. Jerry, what's your meter on this?
My meter, I'm going to sit here and I will go with, let's say, 70% LSU. I'd give 25%, if you will, to Florida. 5% Ole Miss. Look, I don't think anything's a definite right now. You never know what 11th hour deals that could possibly be made. You never know what offers come in late. We don't know that. I just don't think that Florida would just lay down and say, I think he's out. He's completely out. Let's just completely move on. Because I think we would have probably heard something about that already. So, I just don't feel like they're completely out. But I think LSU is the runaway favorite at this point. I do.
I think LSU is the favorite. I wouldn't put.
I mean, we're all terrified.
I wouldn't put Ole Miss at that low in my opinion. I think Ole Miss is a higher percentage, not higher than LSU. I think LSU has the higher percentage of doing it. Matt Bauer's big booster, New Orleans guy. He's actually he has dealerships in both Louisiana and Mississippi.
I would imagine Ole Miss is higher on that list than LSU is.
But I think Ole Miss. I think they have a puncher's chance of getting him. I personally think Florida's in third in my mind.
The only thing that makes me concerned about Florida is the silence.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I have them in second. They're the only ones not talking right now.
And they were talking a lot. And then it became, Maybe
well,
I'll shut
they
Maybe
were
I'll shut
real ties there, and they took a visit there. That's why I'm not completely off the floor. I do think Ole Miss is far and beyond in third place, and I'm talking Doug Flutie ball to get back into the game.
And I think they've recognize that fact. It feels like they're the ones that took themselves out the running.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that the public pressure, not from Ole Miss, not from Ole Miss fans, but the national public pressure, could potentially influence Lane at the last hour?
Mm-mm.
No, I don't. Because I think if that's the case, then you probably are not who you believe you are as a coach, right? And I don't think that's where he's at. I think he's at a place right now where he knows who he is as a man. He knows who he is with his family. He knows what makes him happy. He knows what makes him tick. He knows where he needs and wants to be. And he's had those bad experiences. So I think he's able to kind of put all of that stuff together and say, hey, what is the right move for us to be the most successful going forward? And I think that that's how the move is going to be made. And I think if you're making decisions off of how the public perception is, you're putting yourself in a position for the thing to go wrong, if you will, on the other side of it.
You know what I can tell you for 1,000% certainty? If Lane Kiffin does come to LSU, Ole Miss will have a night game next year when LSU goes to Oxford. I can tell you that with 1,000% certainty. That will be a night game because LSU's got to go back there next year. That will be 100% a night game if Lane Kiffin takes a job here and Lane can say, see, I got you a night game.
I did.
I'm just on the other side of it.
Very kind-hearted game, too. That's how it went.
Yeah, no doubt. They're going to have extra security. They're in Tennessee.
A lot of loves, a lot of hugs. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's just a wild. I mean, because the reason I brought that up, right, is as far as the public pressures, because like if you watch Game Day last week, you hear everybody on there basically saying like, you know, how can you leave there? Talking about the optics of it, talking about like if I were there, if I were him, I would stay. And the only person who came to LSU's defense, the one and only Nick Saban. Deep down, Nick Saban understands what you can do here in Baton Rouge, right? And Ole Miss, I think we all can argue this, or probably agree to this. Ole Miss over the last 4 years has been a better football team than LSU has been for the last 4 years. Better record, more exciting, all these types of things. They're in contention to be in the playoffs this year. LSU is not. But with all of that success, this is the best stretch Ole Miss has ever had in the history of their program. With all of that said, their recruiting class going into next year is 20th in the country. You can't play much better than Ole Miss has played, and you can only get a 20th recruiting class, and that's with some really good recruiters, right? Obviously Lane, but you have, Pete Golding is known to be a really good recruiter. When he was at Alabama, he frequently came into Louisiana and plucked guys out of here. He plucked a couple whenever he's at Ole Miss. Like, they have guys that can go recruit. It's just not as easy to recruit to Ole Miss as it is to LSU. I know Ole Miss fans are going to yell at us and they can, say everything that they want to say, but that's the reality of it. And I'm not trying to be a homer. Ole Miss isn't as easy to recruit to as Florida is, right? LSU, amidst the turmoil and everything that's going on, has lost one recruit since this situation. Now, maybe more could come down the line depending on the head coach, but with the ups and downs of the season, with the inconsistencies, changing of defensive coordinators, changing of offensive coordinators, changing of coaching staff, LSU still has a number 5 rated recruiting class, or top 5 rated recruiting class coming in, or top 10 for sure. I don't know what it is right now, but they are perennially in the top 10, top 5 every year.
That's all a fair and a great statement, and I guess to put a bow on that prism of how you want to look at this whole situation. If we talked about LSU and Alabama and I guess that rivalry and how that matchup and how that stuff has gone over the past 15-ish years, fair to say that Alabama was winning that one, correct?
Yep, correct.
Over those last 4 years you're talking about, what's LSU's record against Ole Miss?
2-2.
Over that time, is either one of them won any national championships over that time?
0.
No, right?
0.
Has either of them won an SEC championship over that time?
0.
So the best ever of Ole Miss's time is still not even touching LSU's downtime. They're still not even – we can sit here and say they're a better team, but they're sitting here 500 against LSU, and they ain't beating them. So the best of their time is still not eclipsing the level and reaching the level that LSU has reached. And we can easily say LSU is nowhere near its height right now. Nowhere near the places it's been. Nowhere near where we've seen it in recent, very damn recent history. So if we're sitting here looking at the programs and what's available and what you can do and what you can't do, I'm not saying you can't go anywhere with Ole Miss. I'm not saying that like things are impossible. I'm just saying they're a little more possible on this side.
Yeah.
That's all.
Agree. Ask Mikie and Mitch too, by the way.
Yep.
If y'all got questions after listening to us, throw them in there. We're not having to ask Mikie and Mitch on Wednesday, so you can join the conversation if you want. But I'm with you, Jared. Like, that is a great point. I mean, it's you can argue it from an Ole Miss side all you want, and I understand them arguing and fighting for their team and doing those types of things. But at the end of the day, like, there's no real comparison, right? Like, you've won national championships with three different head coaches. You have the opportunity to recruit at a high level more so than anywhere else in the country, right? Florida has more of an argument with LSU than Ole Miss in this sense, right? But you have an opportunity here to come and win instantly. Florida's had, over the last 4 years, I think Florida has a losing record. So it's just not – it's not the same. It's just not the same program, and that's the reality of it. I'm not stomping on Ole Miss, and I'm not saying. And I guess their point is, well, why can't we be that way? We can't be the new age. I'm like, well, yeah, but how sustainable is hitting in the portal every single year? Not sustainable.
Well, especially if you're the coach. Like,
Right.
this is the way we have to do it, and we have to get it right every time, or else I don't have like.
Well, and here's the other point.
How likely is it to get a D2 quarterback and be like, oh,
No
you're
doubt.
the guy?
And look, and here's the other point. After all this, hullabaloo, chaos, Lane goes back to Ole Miss, right? Gets the deal that he wants. Ole Miss is giving him the money he wants for NIL, and now all of a sudden he goes 8-4, or he goes 9-3. Now they're going to be saying, you wanted all of this because you wanted to win, and look at what you're doing. So now, outside of saying, man, we're 9-3 or 10-3, that's a good season. They're happy with it. Now, after all this and the new contract and all this new stuff, their expectations get put to a different level, and now they're going to be a lot more heat on Lane of saying, you wanted this, why aren't you winning? You know, and that's – look, you're going to get that. You know you're stepping into that at LSU.
Well, I was about to say, not only is that the case at Ole Miss, but now with the way that this is played out, very publicly, very much dramatic. I mean, if he doesn't win 2 or 3 national championships wherever he ends up, this is all for naught, right? Like, that's what it's, like, I don't think so.
I think just
but
wins
I'm saying
one. I think if he wins one, he's fine.
Well, that's what he wants. We've had that before with the coach.
But I think that's a little different, though.
Yeah, all of this that it's dragged out to be, it's like, what are you actually going through all of this for? It's like, well, it's somebody that I think can win multiple national championships at school and never leave.
And
Well, I'll say this. I honestly think this, and I think this is, dude, we're sitting here talking about national championships, and we're talking about the last 3 coaches. Well, three out of the last 4 LSU coaches have won national championships. That's awesome, and I do think that is the bar none. Like, that's where it's set. But let's be honest, we have not seen LSU be a legitimate, perennial playoff contender in a very long time. And I mean, I'd probably say the end of that, if I'm being completely fair, 2011.
Yeah.
When you got beat 21-0 in New Orleans and never crossed the 50 against Alabama, that's when people kind of stopped believing in, like, oh, this is really that school. So, like, and you were able to ride that, and you had great times after it, and you even won national championships. But I'm talking about when the season started, you believe that this is a very good chance that this school is one of those top 5 at the end of the year. Like, that was probably the end of that, like, 10 to 12-year streak or whatever you want to call it right in that spot. So I say that because if Lane is even able to get us back into that spot.
Right.
You're trying to make the playoffs.
Not win one. I want, and I think he should. I think if you do this job right and you're able to get to that spot at a school like LSU, there is a very, very, very high chance that you'll win one. So I'm not sitting here saying it'll be excused, but I do think being in that conversation now more than ever, because there's 12 teams, right? And there's really 10 when you think about one of those Power Four that has to get in. If you're continually in that spot and you're getting yourself in that, I think that is, you've lifted the program to a spot that it hasn't been at in a while. Right. And I think that matters on the back end of this thing. Yeah. And I think that there's a long runway of something like that going on before they say, I don't know if this is the spot for you anymore.
I agree. Now, part of the argument for Ole Miss's side is, how are you going to leave? You're going to be in the playoffs. How are you going to leave? And I want to bring this conversation up. If Ole Miss loses to Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl Friday
at 11 a.m.,
are they in the playoff?
They still should be, but I think it's contingent on.
Let's go through the list, right? Ohio State 100% in. Indiana 100% in.
What if Ohio State loses to Michigan and loses to Michigan again?
So, okay, Ohio State in, Indiana in, A&M in, Georgia in, Oregon in. Ole Miss is at 6 at 10-1. Right behind Ole Miss is Texas Tech. OU, who LSU plays this weekend, 9-2 at number 8. Notre Dame 9-2, Alabama 9-2, BYU 10-1, Vandy 9-2, and you got Miami 9-2. Miami doesn't really have an inside track to the. Well, I guess if Pittsburgh just beat Georgia Tech, does that help Miami's chances of getting to the ACC championship game or no? It doesn't matter. I'm saying all this because let's say Ole Miss loses to Mississippi State. Oklahoma takes care of business against LSU this weekend, which I think everybody expects them to do. They're going to be in, right? Let's say Michigan ends up upsetting Ohio State, which they've done the last 4 years. Michigan will be in, right? Vanderbilt's got to play Tennessee to end the season. Let's say they win, beat Tennessee. Now they're 10-2. With it last, you get to see Pavia is making his Heisman run right now. They go and win. I think they probably jump over Ole Miss. So you got Michigan, you got potentially Miami, Vanderbilt, BYU. All those teams are going to jump over Ole Miss. Plus, you got to get a group of 5 team into the playoff, which is either going to be Tulane, North Texas, or James Madison. So, there's a realistic chance that Ole Miss does not make it to the playoff with a loss, especially after everything that's happening.
Yeah, I think honestly. So here's my 2 things I sit on if they were not to make it to the playoffs this year. Is I truly think it's got to be if you play this weekend against and at Mississippi State, right? That's going to be a hostile environment. A lot of shit's going to be going on. I think they would have to show up there and take a loss, and in a manner that they really haven't looked all year. Mm-hmm. They would have to not look like themselves. So if you're still out there and able to play very good offensive ball, maybe you give up some points, maybe you just lose a game, I think you're in a good spot even if you lose lane. But I think if they show up there, take an L, and it don't look like it's looked all year, and you lose your coach, I think that's where it's they're out. See, Other than that, I honestly think they're in.
Well,
I really do.
Here's why I don't, because based off of what the committee has been doing.
Well, they've never had a situation where the coach has not been there. I'm
not even talking about that. You have to be in the top 10 to get an at-large bid at this point, because the group of 5 teams is going to take up a spot, and the ACC is going to steal a spot, because the champion of that conference is going to make it. And so that's gonna if Ole Miss goes and loses, I think they fall out of the top 10. And so at that point, now you have conference games, obviously, that can change some stuff, I guess, depending on who's in that. But the ACC is going to steal a spot, and the group of 5 is going to steal a spot. And that could make that tricky if they lose that game. That's the only reason I'm saying that.
Which is fair, and I understand that as well. But we also, when we say it just like that in a vacuum, we're excluding what some of these other teams may really look like and or how they actually play as well. And that's why I say, if they go out there and they look like themselves, for the most part, and it can put up points and somehow just happen to give the game away, at that point, I'm like, all right, if Lane's gone, there's a chance. I think there's a strong chance they still get in. But if they were to lose in a pretty ugly manner of how they went out there and played and how inspired they either were or weren't, probably weren't if you're really looking at it in that sense, and then you lose your coach, I think they're out. Yeah. That's just where I'm at.
Hey, look, it's crazy. I think we can all agree that Ole Miss is better than Virginia. But Virginia has a chance. Virginia has a chance to make it to the SEC championship and win that.
I mean, that's what Clemson did last year.
That's what I mean.
They had no business being in the college football play, but every conference champion gets in.
Correct.
And I guess that's how it should be.
And they got a bye, didn't they?
Yeah.
That changed this year, but
yeah. Thanks to the sing-along song, we all know what goes on now.
Yeah. Yeah, thank God. It's gonna be an interesting thing. Friday's gonna be wild. I'll be watching.
And that's what I was gonna say is, after you have the chancellor or what have, I don't know what these titles are, athletic director, chancellor, what the fuck ever, white people titles. But after he comes out and says we're going to make a decision after the Egg Bowl, like that doesn't help you in any way regarding the performance on the field or with the committee to go, what does that mean?
Yeah, right.
Like, so you're not helping yourself in any way and able to get to a playoff. It sounds like, it's not like Mississippi State's world beaters. You should be able to handle business. But it's already become the Egg Bowl they've put up here for some reason. Like, I know it's a rivalry game.
But they've had some crazy games.
Well, I know, but listen to me. That's because Ole Miss was never any good. And so they had to make this their Super Bowl, and it was like, we have to win the state of Mississippi. You're in such a different pantheon right now of where you should change your thinking, and even the chancellor and the AD are like, well, we got to make a decision after the Egg Bowl. Like, we have to win that one first before we can make it. Stop worrying about the Egg Bowl.
Well, the Egg. I think it's more about they have to go and finish that game to get into the playoffs before,
right.
More so than we got to go win the Egg Bowl. I mean, they got to win it regardless, but it's not the Egg Bowl because we got to go play the Egg Bowl. It's the Egg Bowl. It just so happens to be the last game of the season, and it ends up being the determining factor of us getting the playoff or not potentially.
But if they didn't do this to themselves and say, look, we have to make a absolute directive after the Egg Bowl, then the committee would look at it differently. It'd be like, look, we could have just waited this thing out if you're Ole Miss. I still don't understand why they gave a quote-unquote ultimatum that wasn't an ultimatum that it definitely is an ultimatum.
I tell you,
like, you did this to yourself.
You
put yourself right between the crosshairs if you lose the Egg Bowl that you've made this important.
I'll tell you what LSU loves, though. Louisiana loves in general is getting behind somebody and support somebody when nobody else likes them and they want to feel like they're the villain.
Yeah, one of us.
Right? And so if Lane does come to LSU and everybody hates him, boy, you're going to have a You're going to have a lot of alignment behind Lane Kiffin defending it to the death of everybody.
And that's where I almost feel bad for him in a way because, like, he's the one that kind of built up the program to where it is, and I don't mean kind of. He definitely has. They haven't been good since Eli in 2003, where they put up an SEC West co-champion banner, right? Like that's what they have in the stadium, and then you have to go back to his dad, Archie.
Right.
And so you have Lane Kiffin come in, and you're winning 9 to 10 games consistently, and he's going to get vilified because why? Because you did it to yourself. You don't know how to handle success. You don't think you're good enough for him. Like, you're telling everybody else that you're scared. And it's like, well, he's probably going to leave, so we're just going to cut bait. Like, you've done this to yourself, whatever. You could have just said nothing, had the potential to win a national championship, then he leaves, fine. But at least you kept yourself in the dance. Now you're taking yourself out the running.
Yeah.
It's just it's a fool's errand. Because they even asked Lane Kiffin about, like, what's your legacy at Ole Miss? Like, they're already asking these questions, and it's like, what do you think it is to have the highest winning percentage as a head coach at Ole Miss, and you're going to make him answer it? It's like, that's not what I think about right now, but sure.
Lane, I want to follow up on a question I asked you on one of the Sunday calls about your winning percentage at Ole Miss. Right now, 2 wins would get you to be the winningest coach in Ole Miss history over Coach Johnny Vaught at 74, a little over 74%. How important would that be to your legacy and as a college football coach to be the winningest coach at Ole Miss?
Well, that's a good question.
You say that's a weird question?
I didn't know any of that. That's pretty neat. Again, that's just a lot of players playing really well and a lot of assistant coaches doing a really good job here. And so, that's pretty historic. numbers, and again, that's just appreciative of all the players and coaches that were a part of that. I've always said the best thing to do, got from Pete Carroll, but the most exciting thing to do professionally in life in a lot of areas is to do it better than it's ever been done before. And anybody, just anybody can do it 1 year. Can you do it over and over and over again? So that's a pretty neat stat, but that's credit to the player.
I mean, that's a tough question to answer. I know what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Just like, hey,
Here's another way of asking
if you
if
keep
you're leaving.
coaching, yeah. Like,
he's very good at thinking on his feet. He's a crafty little fucker.
Mm-hmm.
I want him.
He does a very good job when he's speaking of. You can tell he's being very thoughtful and cerebral while he's answering questions, as opposed to just kind of just word vomit and just spitting out an answer. He's actually kind of thinking through how he wants to talk about this thing.
yeah, it's.
He's got the. He also has the Nick Saban hands
Yeah. Yeah.
on the side of the podium.
He does. Look, he's coached under Pete Carroll. He's coached under Nick Saban. He's coached under a bunch of.
That's why everybody. I mean, yeah, he should be good at it. I mean, it's dad.
Yeah. All right. He's got the pedigree.
Pretty good
behind him.
pedigree.
We have anybody else in the chat that wants to join our conversation?
Yes, we have a couple of Ask Mikey and Mitch's, and Evan. Even some for me.
There we go.
Ask him and him. First one up. Oh, let me get the little drop music behind this. It makes it quite the segment.
Quite the segment.
Quite the segment. Ask him and him. There you go. Have you ever referred to your dad as your boy?
Never.
No.
I mean, I've dropped a pops. I think that's normal.
I don't think that's my boy.
No.
Pops and my boy is way different.
That's just
This shit is not the same.
just a weird. God, it's just so weird.
Ask Mikey and Mitch. Will you do a weekly interview with the Lane Train like you do with CJJ when he gets here? I think we would like to have to.
I would love that. I mean, that would skyrocket the show, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, how do we get clarity for that? Let's get that one going.
I think we start now.
That would be great. Yeah, we start DMing him now.
Yeah, I mean, he's not busy.
No.
Yeah, I'm sure he wants more media attention.
I'm sure he checks all of his DMs.
He hasn't tweeted since Friday.
Exactly.
I'm sure he answers them all too. He doesn't screen any of them, so just
He's trying to get back.
get in the queue.
Yeah. Ask him and him. If Ole Miss loses the Egg Bowl, can we get Lane on a plane to Norman to call plays for our game against Oklahoma the next day?
Second part, no. Or actually, the whole thing, no. I mean, that's not gonna happen. I mean, it's
How quickly would you know?
the Egg Bowl is gonna be the most watched Egg Bowl of all time, right?
Ever.
Right? No
Since
doubt.
Dak Prescott.
No, more than that. Blow that one out the water. No doubt.
Yeah.
I think if they lose the Egg Bowl, let's go ahead. We don't even need him to call plays against Oklahoma. Let's save all that good shit for the next year. I don't need that right now. Let's just save it. You save it up, bottle that shit up, put it in a nice spot on it, and let's bring it out next year.
Oh, ask him and him. Is the Kenzel Kelly video better or worse than the Dabo Swinney Hickory Dickory Doc? Have you seen that TikTok?
I don't think so.
Do you want to?
I guess so.
It's awful. Ugh. What's his name? Dabo. This is.
I've never seen this.
It's unfortunate. One of the cringiest things I think I've ever seen, to be honest. But we will play it. Let me find it on Twitter.
Hickory Dickory. When did this happen?
Yeah, but so what is this from? What is there? Give me some context to this video.
It says a while ago. Let's see, 2020.
COVID
Yeah,
brain.
COVID. It was for recruiting. His son, obviously, who played kick returner and then got
Holder.
exposed.
Were they
out
all
there.
holders?
Yeah, they've all done that.
Because Dabo was a holder, right?
No, I thought he was a receiver.
I know, but I
Those are
thought he
walk
was
orders.
holding the kicks too. Maybe not. I could be wrong.
Probably so.
Probably
Here's
wrong,
the short
actually.
version, which is plenty. But Dabo is not one to run from the camera. and his son put him up to it, I guess, if I'm going to give him any leeway on this. But this is the video, and it is close. This is a cringe off. When you saw, obviously, you have seen what
Kenzel Kelly's video
Kenzel has done, and now you get to see what Dabo has done, and it's awful. Surprised you haven't seen this.
I may have. I just don't remember it.
That's probably for the.
I mean, that's a long time ago. COVID was like that lasted like 2 years in 1 year. I have not seen this.
Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. Coach Sweeney's got that drip, and now he's on TikTok. Hickory dickory.
Turn it off. Don't ever do that to me again.
Both of y'all.
I'm disgusted.
Not my coach. My coach is
Okay.
My coach is going dick to butt on the podium.
Hard to compare both. That was more. Don't stop.
The mouse ran up the clock. Coach Sweeney's got that drip, and now he's on TikTok.
It makes my skin hot.
Yeah, so that is more cringe-worthy. Kenzel Kelly's is worse because it was just pure douchiness.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Ugh.
That's tough. Next question, if there's one, please tell me it's not the last one.
That's shout out Conkle.
Wow. That hurts me.
Fonz, ask him. Do y'all think all of this leaked information about Lane's offer is hurting us or just bullshit?
I don't think it's hurting or helping.
Oh, I got hot.
I think early on it didn't really help. I think right now, because the market hasn't gotten like immensely bigger, like you don't have all these other teams that have hopped into this thing. I think it kind of is what it is. So I think you're kind of good right now. They have a good idea of what they're willing to pay, and I think all of these schools that are in the competition right now are all in the same neighborhood of what they're willing to pay. So I don't think it's really hurt us, but the stuff that came out early on definitely did not help us. But recently, no, I don't really think so.
Yeah, I think all the offers are probably very similar to each other, and so at this point, it's a matter of what school he's going to want to go do it at.
What he believes in most, yeah.
I think that's kind of where we're at.
Ask him. If some of these reporters really believe Lane is going to tell them what's going to happen, if not, why even ask? Because you're just going to piss off the coach. He's never going to trust you. You have to ask because you would get buried if you didn't.
You have to ask. I think they know that he's not going to say anything. I think the best thing they're hoping for is a really funny soundbite of him making fun of them or something.
Yeah, but I think it's at that point it becomes like a clever off, right? Like one person asks, so you know the question's already out there. Now it's how smart can I be by using different words and asking the same damn question? And if he answers it, boom, I won, I got the clip. And if he doesn't and he either blows up or says something funny, I still win because it came from my question. So I think it turns into kind of like that little battle and back and forth feel at that point.
Yeah, because once you found I'm not talking about other people's jobs, like that became the answer. Like you found the canned answer of like, I don't know how many times I can answer this. Like I've already told you I'm not talking about other people's jobs. So that's like, he found his spot of like, I don't have to answer this anymore. Ask Mikie and Mitch from Lance James. If you guys had to bet on it, what % chance do you give each team to land Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, I think we.
I already gave my answer.
Yeah, I'm just
I'd go.
just going down the list.
I like LSU at 70%. I like Ole Miss at 20 and Florida at 10.
There you go. Got you 100.
I already said 70, 25, and 5. LSU, Florida, Ole Miss.
Lloyd said 95 and then 2.5, 2.5.
Yep. I'll be able to go 100. I'm there.
Lloyd thinks that just tells me that he thinks the pen's already been inked and dried. They're just keeping it in the thing until they say, hey, all right, now we can go ahead and put this thing out there.
Gotta get the egg balls away.
Lane Kiffin comes here. Who quarterbacks he bringing with him? Is he bringing his guy or is he going out the portal and getting someone?
I think they'd be absolutely crazy to not at least see what jumps into the portal.
Correct. I think he goes in the portal.
He's bringing Austin Simmons with him.
Do we want Austin Simmons?
Yeah, sure.
One of those guys is coming with him if he comes.
I think he's
firmly believe at least one of them's coming. Now, with that being the case, who else becomes available, and does he think that this is a legitimate battle that I could get going, and or someone that could possibly take the spot? Like, is that where he is?
I think he probably brings. What's his name? Austin what?
Simmons.
Austin Simmons. I think he brings him, but I think he goes and gets a quarterback at the portal.
He has A.J. Maddox. He has Maya Luakai.
Because he can't bring Trinidad.
Trinidad's a senior. He has A.J. Maddox, Maluka. It's tough to say. Luakai Smith, and Shockey Eye Trash.
Jesus.
He's a senior, though. That's his name. He's got a lot of quarterbacks. He can do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he'll bring Simmons, but I also think he'll try to bring somebody in the portal.
I think he really is connected to Simmons.
I don't know. That's a iffy. We would get an idea truly of what kind of relationship he builds with players in terms of, hey, I got this guy, I tapped him as my opening day starter. He did that, and he basically lost his job to a very short injury, and somehow I was able to keep him on the train and not let him kind of go astray and even bring him to the next spot. I think that would say wonders of what type of relationships he builds with the quarterbacks and like just his players in general, if he's able to make that happen. I do think if that is the case, bringing Austin Simmons would mean a lot towards what that person and maybe the rest of these players actually think about Lane.
What about Kawan Lacey?
I was about to say he's bringing him for sure, too.
So you have Caden Durham, Harlan Berry.
That 19-year-old back is definitely about to follow him wherever.
But he likes to use a lot of running backs.
Yeah, but he's turned this kid into a star, and I think that kid understands that and knows that, and he's given him opportunities that maybe he didn't think he'd be getting at the age of 19 years old. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 1,100 yards and 19 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will follow you anywhere. Ask him and him.
Got to get an offensive line.
Yeah, that's the bigger issue. Do you think you could have ever played a high-level ball for your dad if he was a coach?
Jared, I'm going to defer this one to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is that more of a question to me, or would that be more of a question to like my dad? Because I'm not sure. Like my dad never had aspirations or wanted to coach like high-level ball, and I think that if he did, how he approached either coaching me and or staying out of the way as a youth, like I think he would have approached it different if that's what he wanted to do. So my dad was always like hey, once you get there and you with your coaches, I'm hands off, bro. I'm watching. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm as present can be. But now you are turned over to them. Do as they say. Do as you need. Do as you must. And we can talk about things when you're done. I don't think if my dad said I want to coach high level ball, that's exactly how he would have gone about it. So like that's and if he doesn't go about it that way. Does he change as a person in terms of how our relationship is and how we go? I don't know the answer to that. So like that's where I don't. That's a really hard question to answer because my dad didn't coach and or want to coach high level ball.
Yeah, not even high level. Like I feel like there's two types of parents, right? There's ones that get very involved, and that's either coaching or very loud in the stands, and there's ones that go. That's their job. Yeah. I'm just here to support.
Yeah.
And
I hope you're off the field, and then when you get there, it ain't
my dad didn't either, but he just was not interested in athletics. Wasn't his deal.
Right.
But I preferred it that way because you saw the other ones where you're like, oh, I feel bad for you, brother.
Right.
That's awful. Ask M&M, what's more embarrassing? Texas A&M against Brian Kelly? Brian Kelly dancing on the tight end that they didn't get? Or his son doing that dumb shit on senior night? He's had some moments.
What's more embarrassing?
I've never been more embarrassed than the A&M game.
A&M game was pretty embarrassing.
The A&M game 2 years in a row was pretty damn embarrassing.
Yep. Yep.
Right? Like you went there and you got blown out the water the second half of last year's game, and then to come and back it up in your own home and absolutely get blown out again. Those two were probably more embarrassing. Just because I know what that place is built off of. I know the blood, sweat, tears, the brotherhood, the grind, everything that place is. It should never happen like that to an LSU team. And so to watch it happen 2 years in a row to the same team, and then the back half of that 2 years in a row being your own damn stadium, that's the most embarrassing. And I don't care about any of the other stuff.
Correct.
I don't know what his answer was. Lane was asked today about Champions applying for another year of eligibility. I would love that.
Yeah, but how can he?
Because of the Pavia waiver. The
But he didn't come from he came from D2, not JUCO.
I think that's what they're contending. If they were to do it, I mean, he's going to go to the league. He should win the. It's between him and. I did sprinkle a little on Jeremiah Love to win the Heisman when he had 8 carries for 200 yards. And 3 touchdowns.
Listen to me. If Vanderbilt beats Tennessee and Pavia does it again, I mean, have you seen his numbers lately? Go look at his last 3 games. All SEC opponents. Are you pulling them up? Okay, that's not who's winning the Heisman. She will be there.
That's news to her.
But he has 14 touchdowns over the last 3 games. He threw for 500 yards. I know it's Kentucky, but
Kentucky has good defense.
You know, he's playing all SEC teams. If he goes and does that against Tennessee to end the game, I mean, he's definitely going to be in New York.
Yeah, I guess who was going to be in New York? Him, the Indiana quarterback, Jeremiah Love, and it should be the linebacker at Texas Tech.
Yep. So he has, against Texas, 34-31 loss. He went 27 of 38 for 365, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. That's just passing. Rushing, he ran for 43 yards and a touchdown. So 4 total touchdowns. Against Auburn, he had 18 carries for 112 yards and a touchdown. And he threw for, he was 25 of 33 for 377, another 3. And then against Kentucky, he was 33 of 39 for 484 and 5 touchdowns. He also rushed for another touchdown.
He's good.
If he can do that against Tennessee to end the season, I think he's definitely in New York.
I think he's going to New York. I just think the time he peaked too soon.
He's peaking now.
He's peaking again.
Yeah.
But I mean, because Vanderbilt could very much be in it.
That's what I mean. If they go beat Tennessee, they very much can be in the playoffs.
And Ole Miss loses.
Yeah. See, I got it in your head now.
I just don't. I'm ready for him to go.
He's fun to watch.
No.
He's not fun to watch. He's Johnny Manziel.
Johnny was cooler. This guy's just a prick.
Okay.
Hey, are y'all really
He's fat.
convinced that a win against Tennessee would boost their profile that much?
Oh, no, I'm saying other people have to lose for them to go, but they're ranked, what, 12, 13?
Yeah.
Even with the others, I get it. I hear what you're saying. Like, they're in the mix, but I'm just saying, like, does it really boost them even in front of others? Because at this point in time, nobody is even calling Tennessee still one of those teams. So just because they go and beat a Tennessee, I get it. You're not saying in front of other teams who don't lose, but I'm just saying, like, does it really boost what they've done? Does it make them look that much better, or are you just saying if others lose, the field opens up more?
I think if others lose, the field opens up more. I think that I still think they still have that, like, not as much, but some people still look at, Vandy, Tennessee, like Tennessee's ranked, Vandy's
Win the state.
like, when's Vandy gonna fall? If they go out there and they do that, and then you have a Pavia who's a Heisman contender, and other teams lose, yeah, I think they could sneak in there for sure. If it stays status quo and they beat Tennessee, they're not going anywhere. But, yeah, I mean I think that for sure there'd be a conversation, and then you have the championship games, right? And like if somebody doesn't, like if there's not like something that happened with Clemson where a team that wasn't supposed to be there gets in there, Yeah, I mean, I think there's a chance. But I definitely think he can. I definitely think he can put himself in the top 3 of the Heisman after the Tennessee game.
Old girth boy. 5'10", 220.
We got any others? Or done?
See him selling some insurance later.
No, he can't do insurance. Come on.
Oh, you're right. No, car insurance.
Okay.
Used car salesman.
There you go.
Bad at it.
There you go.
With his mom.
Influencer.
Yeah, being on a billboard.
Influencer.
I don't know, boys. Russell Wilson just made a 12, 13-year career out of the same build.
That's true.
No
but
doubt.
he was a nice guy.
No doubt. I'm not saying he can't do it. I mean, Pavi can throw that thing now.
Don't know.
When does he get drafted? What pick? Where do you take him?
I mean, he's going to be middle
Fourth
of the
round.
back. I mean, if he gets drafted,
What are you asking me here?
at best, 4th round. I think at worst, 7th round. If he gets drafted, I think he's going to get an opportunity.
Quintessential college quarterback.
He's going to get somewhere. He's going to get an opportunity somewhere. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. There's no Baker. That's what you say when you compare him.
No, I'm not. I didn't compare him to Baker.
Compare him to
Is that
Johnny.
Is that it?
Yes.
All right.
Unless you want to talk baseball.
We don't have enough time to talk baseball right now. When I talk baseball, I want to be able to like.
Put my eyes on it.
Yeah, I gotta go and see it myself. I want to read through whoever's watching them. You know what I mean?
We need to go back.
I like my self-scouting. Yeah, whenever they get back playing again, like in the spring or in the January, we'll go back.
Yeah.
Because they don't play anymore.
No, I just did the full recap.
I just did the full recap. Thanksgiving.
Um,
Omaha Challenge.
What did Yorkie used to hit almonds? That's what he credits his hand-eye coordination to. There's your report.
There you go. Nice.
Mistake of the day.
There you
Interesting for... I want to get y'all's feel for this because being former and current, I guess, celebrities, depending on what city or state you're in, what do you think about Connor Bernard's reaction to being asked to sign an autograph by somebody who clearly just wants an autograph and is not that big of a fan? Because I know you have opinions on this.
Wait, before you
Yeah, what's up?
Respectfully, and I do mean this. Who can you give me who's Connor Bernard?
Hockey player for the Blackhawks.
Okay, all right, run it.
Their best player.
Connor, can you please sign a magazine for me, man? You can personalize it, please. You can personalize it. There's only 3 of us. I've never gotten your autograph before. You can personalize it. Please. What if I write to Joanna for you? I've never gotten you, dude. Please, just really quick. You can shit on it. I don't care. I got every single one of these magazines signed before. You're the only person I've never gotten. What can I do to say yes? It takes 2 seconds to sign. Can you just walk and sign it, please? Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Connor.
I knew that was going to bother both of y'all.
2 things. Definitely not his signature.
No.
He fucked that guy's magazine up.
Yeah. People are calling him an asshole for
But
that.
they videoed it, so technically he did sign it.
Yeah? Do you think fair or foul?
I got a lot of...
Fair or foul by Connor?
Both.
Fair by Connor, foul by the fan.
Correct.
And that may sound crazy, but I'm just telling the truth of it. At the end of the day, whenever you make it to being a professional athlete, does not make you on the job 24/7. Should you be trying to find a way to represent not only your team, your country, your family, and everything else correctly? Yes, but that does not mean you don't have any privacy. So with that being said, if he's going to walk somewhere publicly, he is not entitled to have to do anything for anyone. Is it a nice gesture? Hell yeah. Does he have to do it? Hell no. So am I that surprised? Because I've seen guys do stuff like that before. And is it maybe more effort in terms of you're keeping the guy around longer than you would be with just telling him, with just signing it and letting him go? Yeah, maybe. But maybe that's that person's prerogative and that's how they want to go about it. So with that being said, like, nobody said you have to be a nice guy to be a professional athlete. It's just not in the prerequisite. The other side of it is if you know that guy's not on the job at this time and or at his place of employment or the one that he's going to be working at if it's not a home place, you're risking something like that happening. And I'm pretty sure that's not the first time that that's happened to that guy. So I think it's kind of foul if you're going to go and video it, because now you're putting it out saying like, hey, look at this guy and how he acts when it's, hey man, he's literally living his everyday life. He's not entitled to give you anything right now. And so I think that part of it's foul. I think that maybe even counter side of it is foul. But once again, he's not obligated to give you anything. He's just living his everyday life.
That to me, that looks like they're probably walking from the stadium or somewhere. Like he's walking with his guys.
Definitely is entrapment.
These guys are ready. They have binders. Like they have their stuff ready to sign. So that makes me feel like they were waiting for him to leave.
Do we know that it was all teammates or was that other friends?
I don't know who that was with, but he is walking with his people, right?
Yeah.
These guys obviously are sitting there waiting for him to sign after the game or wherever it was. He decided to go. Maybe he signed a bunch of autographs before and he's just time to go. And maybe he signed for the kids and this grown-ass man, he didn't want to sign for this grown-ass man, right? You can personalize, you can do whatever. He leaves politely. He didn't say anything very badly to this guy. He just said, I'm okay, we're not going to sign right now. And this guy kept bugging him. And I would have gotten fed up with it. He signed it and walked away. Obviously, he didn't probably sign his correct signature. But, like, this guy, tell me this guy's in the wrong. I get it. Oh, you got to do this. Man, at some point, you've got to be able to go out there and just be yourself and live your life and go there and not have to get and not feel obligated to give. What happens if there is another 15 people behind him and he stops to sign them and now all of a sudden he's stuck and now he becomes an asshole because he leaves regardless? You're never going to be able to sign for everybody. If the game was over and he left, go, right? This guy obviously is having a binder. He has things. You're the only guy I haven't got to sign this.
Yeah, he's a reseller.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna put all the covers on together, and you're gonna try to put them together. Sit it.
Let me ask you this: do they play a lot of day games in hockey?
I don't know that answer.
I have no clue.
Okay, so, and I don't know the answer to this. The only reason I'm saying that though is because this video is during the day. So if there's not that many day games, there's a good chance that this is not post game. And so I feel like if it's not post game,
it's practice,
and he's walking with either just friends and not actual teammates, because the guy didn't ask anyone else, who I would imagine obviously they're not on the front, but they may be in the magazine as well. Yeah, that's a little much. And if he was post game and he did sign autographs somewhere after, and now he said, "Hey, I'm done. Time to go home and decompress, and it's over." You're doing a lot following that man down the street and asking him, and you're lucky he even did that for you in that kind of a manner. But like I said, I would like to know, because it's not nighttime, was this post game? Because if it wasn't post game, you're doing a ton.
It was Sunday morning.
That's a lot.
And it's just
that's actually, a whole lot, man.
Even better. I bet you this is exactly what happened. Can I tell you? And now this actually makes me even more on this guy's side, on the NHL, on the hockey player side. If it was Sunday morning, I don't know this. I don't know the context. I'm willing to bet they were on the road, and they had a game that night. And I bet you these motherfuckers were sitting out waiting in front of the hotel, because that happens. These guys wait out with their books all day for these guys to walk
I've never
out
gotten you before.
and live their life, and they wait for them to walk out so that they can sign. Usually they have like a barricade, and they have a security guard, somebody there stopping. But you can't stop them from leaving the hotel. I'll bet you that they're waiting to play a night game that day. He was going out there probably to go get breakfast or something with his teammates and friends. And this guy chased them down there. And that is, I'm not on that.
But I think the biggest issue, nobody's ever asked for my autograph, but it's the fact of the way and the manner and the guy and what he is. Like an adult man.
And the video thing just throws me off.
It's like, we have 3 of them. You can you know exactly what you're doing. Like, you're going to resell this. Like, this is
also, the other guy put his name on. The other guy had one too. What, just you? It was the other guy next to you.
It's not like, if this would have been like a 7-year-old and he treated him like that, I think that's a totally different narrative. If it's a 40-year-old man that's like, I know the game, Connor knows the game too, it's just like, man, fuck off.
Look,
Don't profit off my name.
I have so many stories of
I bet. That's
these
why I
old
brought it up.
guys, whatever. So, one story that like almost was devastating, actually. So, I was in Tampa, and the turf in Tampa is so bad that pitchers, whenever you do your conditioning in between starts or whatever, they didn't want to run inside in Tropicana Field because the turf was so bad that it would hurt their knees and calves and hamstrings and all that stuff. So they would run outside in Florida. That's how bad the turf was. They would go in Tampa and they would run. There was a strip of grass right outside the stadium that they would run in. This was 2016. I was coming off a broken hand. I had broke my hand, so I was doing the running with them so that I could get back in shape for the season. There was this car that stopped, and he had a binder full of cards that he wanted us to sign, and we kept telling him no. He takes his 2 kids out of the car.
Oh, nice.
And they're young. Like, I'm talking about probably 6, 7. Shit. 7 or 8.
There you go.
7 or 8.
Shit.
They're probably 7 or 8 years old. Windows are tinted. He opens up the door and says, "Hey, go get these guys to sign it." Their kids are young. They get out of the car and run. Don't look.
Oh.
Cars coming around the edge. I'm talking about 10 feet from running over, from hitting them. The kids like freak out. They go there, and Chris Archer starts yelling, "Hey, go back to your dad and tell him we're not signing. That's fucked up that they would send you." They get in the car and the dad speeds off. Like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Your kids almost died because you wanted an autograph so you can go sell for $7. Like, get out of here, man.
That's crazy.
The
ultimate compliment to y'all, though.
Not me. Other people.
I'm kidding. That's terrifying.
But like, I was like,
gotta have them.
We watched it. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna get hit. Because like there was like a curve, so like the car coming around the curve can't see.
And he can't get out the car because y'all.
He didn't get out the car.
Of course.
Open the door, they come back in, and he leaves.
Now let's go get ice cream.
Yeah, terrible. All right, curtain call. Didn't we have a show curtain call?
Yeah, that's how.
It was on the.
Frank Wilson. So for LSU's opening kickoff, they won the toss again. By the way,
didn't have a lot of good things, but
this was cool, and it didn't go awry, which is great.
Right.
But everybody on the opening kickoff team was a walk-on. So Frank called them the SEAL Team 6 of the kickoff team, where everybody that was on the running down on kick was a walk-on.
Senior
walk-on senior that I don't think Kenzel got on the kickoff team. But
can't imagine he can run down there.
No, that would be tough. But the cool thing, and it's one of those little things that Frank does extremely well, that you kind of respect the program. You would never see it under BK. And somebody that understands the sacrifice, what they've done to be here and be at LSU and to give them at least a moment. And I think that's really cool for Frank to do, because I know that if you're here for 4 years, 5 years, and you didn't really – all you did was practice. And so to get 1 second on the field probably means the world.
Yep. That's the show curtain call, because that's awesome. And
yeah, that's beautiful.
It was a successful kickoff.
Yeah, kick it out the back.
I'll be honest with you too. Like, I'm used to seeing maybe 1 to 2 guys who kind of earn their spot, earn a chance to get on kickoff team, and it's very apparent if you watch the practice film. Like, whoa, this man is on 10 every day. Mm-hmm. To see them do that with an entire group, I love it. That's awesome. That's how you keep the band together. I actually love that.
Speaking of kickoff, the punt. How about the punt?
Chris Hilton.
From our guy in the NFL, who kept getting pushed down.
Oh,
pushed down,
yeah.
Got and forced a fumble.
Yeah, to get technically a walk-on, unsigned free agent.
Yep.
Forced the fumble, changed the game.
Yep.
Effort.
Got
Energy.
thrown down twice. Stayed up, kept doing. Made the play.
Just keep.
And not only did that happen, it was actually a very meaningful play in that ball game. Like, it meant a ton for him.
Correct.
They were down 21-0, and he's still out there busting ass.
No doubt.
And they just kind of helped him along the way. He just felt, this is one way to get down the field.
That's it. Hey, him staying on his feet on that last
third
shove,
one.
I'm like, damn, that was pretty impressive that he didn't fall down again.
That's hardknocks.com. That's the guy that gets circled.
Yeah, no
Like,
doubt.
No business. All right, I'm going to make the team.
No doubt. All right. We appreciate y'all tuning in with us this beautiful Monday night. I hope y'all have a very happy and healthy
Justin Tucker to the Saints.
Thanksgiving. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not
They're-
official.
Mm-mm.
We're not going to go negative town after the curtain call. Hope everybody has a happy and beautiful Thanksgiving with their friends and family. We'll be back live in studio on Monday talking about a new coach potentially. A lot to talk about.
Egg Bowl.
Egg Bowl. Does LSU cross the 50-yard line against Oklahoma?
I think they win 10.5.
I don't think it's enough. Actually, Oklahoma doesn't score a ton of points either, though.
No, but here after the hand has not been great.
But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you can't watch us, but you like listening to us or anywhere you get your pods. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the holidays. We'll be back live on Monday. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Yeah! Send us into the break! Yeah!